Right, welcome to the solution to problem 6-2, which is located on page 243. We've got Siegel Corporation. They make product available in both a deluxe and a regular model. Company's made the regular model for years. Deluxe model is introduced just recently. Since the introduction of the deluxe model, the company's profits have steadily declined, and management's become concerned about the accuracy of its costing system. Sales of the deluxe model have been increasing rapidly. Overhead is applied to the product on the basis of direct labor hours. At the beginning of the current year, management estimates that $5,184,000 would be incurred. We've got a bit more detail here. Okay, so number one, compute the predetermined overhead rate using direct labor hours as the basis for allocating overhead cost to products. Compute the unit product cost for 1 unit of each model. All right, so clearly this is not activity-based costing that they're using right now, right? They use a single rate on the basis of direct labor hours, and so that goes back to our job costing scenario, which we can quite easily do. So the first thing we need to figure out is the total, or is the manufacturing, the rate. So the estimated overhead we're given, $5.184 million, and the denominator here would be direct labor hours, and we're not given that, so we're going to have to work it out. And the way we do that is we know that a deluxe model requires 3.2 direct labor hours, and they estimate that they're going to produce and sell 5,000 units. So we're going to spend a total of 16,000 direct labor hours on the deluxe one. The regular one, 0.8 direct labor hours, and we're anticipating that we're going to make 40,000 of these guys, which means we're going to have 32,000 direct labor hours. Add all these guys up together, and the company is planning to spend 48,000 direct labor hours making these two products. So now our predetermined overhead rate, actually POHR is I think what the book uses, so we'll fix that. Predetermined overhead rate is going to be 5,184,000, right, which the problem gives us, divided by the 48,000 direct labor hours, and we get a rate of $108 per direct labor hour. Okay, compute the unit product cost of 1 unit of each model, and we're given direct materials and direct labor costs. Okay, so if we have direct materials, let's go DLX and regular. Direct material for the deluxe was 150, the regular was 112. Direct labor cost per hour, DLH, actually not just call it direct labor. And we're not given the cost, but we're told that the for the deluxe unit, the direct labor cost is $14 an hour times how many hours for a deluxe unit? 3.2, and so that works out to $44.80. And for the regular one, it was $16 an hour times 0.8 hours, $12.80. And then we have our overhead, $108 per direct labor hour, so this is 108 times 3.2, $345.60. And this guy here is 108 times 0.8, and that that should work out to $86.40. So if we add all of this up, deluxe unit should cost $540.40, and a regular unit $211.20. So this would be how these units are currently being costed in or under our plant-wide overhead rate. So that's number one, right? Number two, an intern suggested the company use activity-based costing. A team was formed to investigate the idea. It came back with recommendations, a bunch of data, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so compute the activity rate for each of the activity cost pools, and then it looks like we're going to apply them to the individual products and get a sense, get a new product cost under activity-based costing in requirement number 3. So let's do 2 first. So that is compute the activity rate for each of these 4 cost pools. So we've got purchase orders, rework, product testing. Actually, let's call it testing. And the last one was machine related. And so we've got the overhead listed here, purchase orders $476,800. Rework was $562,400. Product testing was $908,000. And machine related $3,236,800. Expected activity, we figured we would have 2,384 orders, 2,250 requests, 11,350 tests, and 40,460 machine hours. So that then, doing a bit of math, gives us a rate of $200 per order, $249.96 per request, $80 per test, and $80 per machine hour. Okay, so there's our rates. And I suppose we could add this all up to confirm and double check that it does indeed come out to 5,184,000, right? Okay, so we now got our rates. We can now use them to allocate our overhead costs to our 2 products and go from there. So 3A says determine total amount of overhead that would be applied to each model for the year, and then do the product cost for 1 unit of each model for the year. Okay, so we have the activity levels by product, right? So in the previous section, part 2, we were using the total activity levels, total number of POs. Now we're just going to take our rate and multiply by the portion of orders for deluxe and again by the portion of orders for the regular, and do that for each of the 4. So see if I can fit this all in sort of in a side-by-side kind of way here. So if we go PO, if we do deluxe here, regular here, so the deluxe, let's see, PO, rework, product, testing, and machine. So for the deluxe, we expect to have 1,184, 810, 5,000, and 15,240. And for the regular, 1,200, 1,440, 6,350, and 25,220. And of course, we're going to use each of these rates. So $200 per order times the 1184 will give us $236,800. $249.96 times 810, 202,464. $80 per test times 5,000 tests is $400,000. And then $80 per machine hour times 15,240 is 1,219,200. Add all this up, 2,058,464. And then for the regular product, 240,000, 359,936, 508, and 2,017,600. Again, taking these rates, multiplying it by this level of activity, add it all up, and you get 3,125,536. And so this is nice, but it didn't tell us a whole heck of a lot because we've got different quantities of production for each of these, right? So how many units did we produce? The deluxe, we made 5,000, and the regular we made 40,000, or we anticipate making, I guess. So to get the per unit cost, per unit overhead cost, got to divide, and that works out to 411.69 and $78.14. Okay, so now we have a bit more, actionable information here, and so now we can create or calculate our product costs again. So for the deluxe and the regular, direct material we said was 150 and 112. Direct labor we calculated previously as being $44.80 and $12.80, and we've now recalculated overhead for $11.69 and $78.14. So if you add all of this up, you get $606.49 and $202.94. And so I guess the interesting question now is, how does this compare to what we did previously? Well, back here, 540 and 211. So clearly, under activity-based costing, we see that the cost of the deluxe model goes up from 540 to 606, and the cost of the regular model goes down from 211 to 202. And that presumably has a bearing on some of their pricing decisions, which might be why they had some of these declining profits and some of their challenges. So for example, let's say that based on the old calculation of 540, they're selling the deluxe model for $575, figuring they're making a profit of $35 per unit, when in fact they're losing money, right? Again, this just illustrates the importance of having as accurate costing information as you can, as long as you can obtain it in a cost-effective way. And that concludes the problem.